And I think that's where we met, right?
Yeah, like right after I got off the phone with you, I called my manager. I was telling him what was going on, and he's like, Jackie, don't call him back. And I was like, as I was pressing connect with LinkedIn.
I won't, don't worry.
Don't worry, I'm not going to do it. He doesn't know that I'm talking to you right now. Like, I considered telling him, but I was like, no, it'd just be weird. Hey, I just started a podcast with this random dude I met on the phone that I was supposed to pitch for this thing. And, you know, we're best friends now. Thank you.
What are the odds? I'm making a call. Wanting to talk to him up, but you end up talking to Matt. Hey. What are the odds?
Welcome to another week of dysfunction. Here's Jackie and Matt.
Yay!
Welcome back, everybody. All 8 of you.
No, there's like, I think it's 50 per episode.
There's about 50 now. It's just...
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
That's so exciting.
I honestly am surprised we got anything past, like, my brother and my father, so...
I'm not. I knew that we would be able to do it. I just...
Well, it was your idea, so...
True. No, it's just since we haven't talked as much in the last week because holidays and traveling and trips not happening. So I think we've texted every single day.
We have, yes.
But we haven't talked or recorded anything in over a week, and it feels weird.
I haven't talked to you in, it feels like a week. I think I spoke to you for like 4 words yesterday. I was like, hey, you're like, I can't talk now. I'll call you tomorrow. I was like, okay, bye. I think that was the first time we had talked, I think, in like 4 or 5 days. So it's kind of,
it feels weird.
Strange. Yeah. That's like, you know what's funny if you really think about it? It's like 1/7 of the time we've known each other, we haven't spoken. That would be like if you and your friend of 7 years didn't talk for a whole year and then went right back to it.
Oh, that's how one of my friends and I are. We literally don't talk to each other at all until we decide to see each other, and then we keep in contact for like 2 weeks, and then we like stop talking.
But when you start talking again, is it like right back to like nothing?
Yeah, nothing changed.
You didn't
like
skip
absolutely
a beat.
Nothing. Yeah, like we don't even mention the fact that we haven't talked in forever.
I know. I love when you have those friends where you could just like, it doesn't matter what happened, and there could have been a whole lot of bullshit, and but like you get together at a barbecue or some party and everything's just great again.
Those are the best.
I know.
So what's been the update the last week for everyone else to understand?
So my update for the last week. Let's see here. I was supposed to fly out to John's. John was supposed to be on one of these upcoming episodes. He will be, but not live anymore. We're gonna have him dial into one of these. So I was supposed to fly out to my buddy John's. He's got a farm out in I don't know, the Pacific Northwest, Oregon somewhere. And because of the friend that was going with us being just a tad late, we missed the flight. That spawned a bunch of new options, like, well, you know, without losing, you know, hundreds of dollars for the flights, they offered to like rent us a car to get it. Like if we drove to Vegas in under 6 hours, we could hop on another flight to get there still. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And he didn't want to do that, and ended up just being, he went home. So I went home, worked, went to sleep, and I bought a ticket that day to fly out to John's, like alone, the next day on, I guess that would be Thursday morning, just by myself. And that night while I was sleeping, somebody broke into my apartment and stole my fucking 2 suitcases.
I don't understand
that
had happens.
I don't either. It had like 6 studio mics in it. It had an equalizer or 12-channel equalizer.
No one cares what was in it, but it was a lot of stuff.
People care.
No one understands what you're talking about.
A tablet and a laptop and microphones and microphone pluggy thingies, and that's it.
So he lost a lot of money in things.
Yeah, it's about $4,000.
Yes. Everything is replaceable, but he did miss his trip to go and visit John.
Again, 2 days in a row. It's almost like God didn't want me to see John. I'm sorry, John. We will see each other soon.
I might join. I might join.
Well, if we got there, I have a ton of credits from American Airlines. They felt like so bad about my situation when I called them to tell them that I couldn't make the flight because I was robbed. The guy was like, "I'm just gonna give you a bunch of credits. Why don't you just call us when you're ready to fly?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I was gonna
That's
fly John
nice.
out here actually this last weekend to watch Adam Carolla. I think was at the Tempe Improv doing his podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so, but we didn't end up doing that. But we'll do something. We'll go visit him or have him come out here. Maybe we could all go to that one museum we keep talking about, that Meow Wolf.
Go visit his farm.
Yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Oh, that would be amazing. Oh, did I tell you about the replacement stuff?
No.
Oh, so, right. I had to file the police report, obviously. Then I started doing, like, the normal hunt down that I think people do when they get stuff stolen from them. I don't know. It doesn't happen to me ever. So I was like, I called, I looked on Craigslist, idiot move. I didn't see anything. I looked on eBay, nothing. And I walked to the pawn shop, like, down the street. And I was like, hey, do you guys, like, have any, like, microphones from, like, the last week or two? And he was like, were they stolen from you? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you filed a police report? And I was like, yeah. He goes, it's all taken care of. Like, you don't have to go checking pawn shops. Like, when you file the police report, the police check every pawn shop for any microphone stolen or any whatever you said stolen in the last whatever. It's all been investigated. And by the way, no, we don't have any. But what they did have was a whole security system. So now my house is cameraed up like I was gonna say Fort Knox, but Fort Knox is known for defense, not a camera system. And then,
Oh gosh.
and then our buddy, the one who made me miss the first flight. I'm not gonna say made me. Didn't help me make the first flight. I went over to his house. I think on like Saturday or Sunday, and he was like, "So I felt really bad about you losing all your stuff." He goes, "And I was just at my buddy's house, and I grabbed. He was getting rid of like these like 3 boxes of electronics, and I just grabbed them for you. I don't know what's in them, and I don't know if you can use them, but they're yours if you can use any." And I was like,
Oh my
great.
god.
So I opened them, and it was literally every single object stolen from me just 15 years earlier. Like it was like the same like style of microphones, just like from 20 years ago. It was the same.
That's crazy.
Equalizers from like 1972. It was.
Are you serious?
Yes. So I got yes.
What? That's crazy.
You gotta see this. I gotta send you a picture of this 4-channel microphone plugin. This thing is from like 1940.
That's crazy.
Like everything I left except for the tablet and the laptop are replaced at this point. So now when I get this renter's insurance check for $4K, I mean, I can either splurge on the laptop and tablet, or I can pocket some of it and call it over.
Get yourself an iPad so you could draw on it.
I almost bought a Surface yesterday. I was at
That works too.
my local store because I was trying to. What was I trying to get? Oh, our projector lamp burned out, and I wanted to get a projector lamp to watch a movie. Apparently, I don't know how to replace the bulb in it. So once I had the thing completely dismantled and realized I had no idea how to put the bulb back in, then I forgot which bulb was the new one and which one was the old one. So I was like,
nice.
all right, I'm just going to throw all this in a trash bag
so
and just start carrying it around to electronic shops until somebody knows what to do with it. So I was at the closest computer store where I bought the laptop that got stolen. They have a Microsoft Surface 5, which I'm not sure what they're running right now, but I think it's like $500 or $600. Let me check it.
Other than that, are you all caught up?
Pretty much, I'm all caught up. Surface 5s are running for about $400 right now. He felt bad about the one, that he couldn't help with the projector, and 2, about the laptop that he sold me being stolen like weeks later. He was like, I will sell you this Surface Pro 5 for like $150, $200. I was like, oh fuck, I kind of have to take that deal.
That's not bad.
So I might go in there today and get that. And other than that, no, I mean, I keep getting, I don't know. I keep getting not job offers, but like what I sent you, it's just stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I keep getting hit. I mean, those I get 8 or 9 of those a day, but that one was just like spot on perfect. And it's like, I don't know.
Interview for it. What's the worst that can happen?
No, that's what I was gonna run by you was. I mean, go through the process, see what happens, and
Yeah.
But I mean, unless it's like the conditions would have to be perfect for me to take it. I'm having too much fun doing this. I mean, like even the last 2 weeks, I've only been able to like crack maybe even 50, 60 hours a week on this because I've been doing a lot of side gigs. You know, and I just got hired for another side gig. I got to completely rebuild a friend of mine's database. He switched hosts and they lost his database. So
Oh, that sucks.
So at least I've got, you know, lots of work coming in as well. So, but I'm going to interview. I think this guy wants me to move to Virginia, and I don't want to. I don't want
Nah. That's too far.
It's too far. You're right. It is too far. Maybe if it were like Oregon or Texas or New Mexico. One of my best friends actually lives in New Mexico.
I like New Mexico, except Grayson tells me there's a lot of people that are drug addicts there. That's why he wouldn't live there.
Las Cruces. That's where that's where my Facebook group hangs out. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I'm not kidding about that. But yeah, they kind of do have a drug problem, but so does Arizona. I mean, Arizona's real bad. It used to be like it seems to be like downers now, like heroin and fentanyl, but I think it's kind of getting the whole country right now. Kind of sad. Why don't you cheer us up? You tell me a story, Jackie.
Well, I don't have anything to cheer you up with.
Oh, you got a sad story?
Well, no, not a sad story. It's just my week kind of has sucked, honestly.
Oh.
My grandpa died from COVID.
No way.
Yeah, he died from, he lived in Colombia. So I found out a couple hours after he died. I didn't even know he was sick, honestly. And
That's
then
the first death I've heard of somebody I knew personally.
From COVID?
Yeah.
He was healthy. Like he's also obviously my grandfather. He was 70 or 68 years old. But he was healthy. He swam every day. He was pretty fit actually for his age. But my sister texted me one morning and she was like, "Hey, grandpa died."
Aww.
And I didn't know what to do. I wasn't even sad at first. Like I was in shock, and like 2-3 hours later I was starting to get sad, and then I reached out to my mom because it was her dad, my bio mom, the one I don't talk to.
You talked to her?
I talked to her and I don't know how to feel about it because I found out from our conversation that she was on pain medication because of something. I forgot what the reason was, but she was on pain medication, and that's like the number one things. No, she doesn't do fentanyl, but like hydrocodone, Vicodin, stuff like that.
I know, but all that stuff is not mostly. It depends where she is. It doesn't matter. Keep moving. I'm sorry.
So she mentioned that she was on pain medication, and that's like the number one thing that she abuses from when I was a kid. So she was really nice, and we talked about her kids. She has 2 twin daughters that are 6 months older than my daughter.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, so our kids are really close.
Weird having a mom with this kid the same age as you.
Oh, yeah, I don't want any kids after my daughter. If my stepmom has a kid after Artemis, I think I'm going to kill her. I'm kidding. But I don't want, that's disgusting to me. I think that's gross.
It's weird, for sure.
But we talked, and she was being cordial, and we like shared pregnancy stories and, you know, all the things that I wanted from her when I was pregnant. But at the same time, I know if I continue communicating with her, once she gets off those pills, it will go downhill from there.
Yep.
But then while I was talking to her, I don't think I say a lot of bad things. It's not bad. It's just my experience that I've had with her since I was growing up is negative.
Yeah, it's honestly a legitimate stereotype. It's generally based off of experience.
Well, it was negative for me.
Right.
But I also have this thing where I could see it from her point of view too. Like, she had me young.
Yeah.
Yes, she had me young. She had a bunch of kids young. I'm the oldest of 4 girls that came out of her body at that time. And she couldn't live her childhood or her teenage years. She was married. It was miserable. They didn't have money in the beginning, and then they had a lot of money and they lost all that money. I could see from her point of view that she was already in a toxic marriage and in a toxic relationship with her mom, and it caused her to be toxic towards me and my sisters, or mostly me, because she kind of zoned me out of my sisters and all her anger went towards me. And I understand her perspective, that it was hard.
I noticed that women who have children young and but maybe subconsciously feel like their youth is being stolen or has been stolen from them.
It is.
They seem to take it out hard, like really hard on their first kid. So I can understand your.
Yeah, I understand her point of view completely.
And yours, I mean, I understand yours is what but yes, that's why I understand how you could see them.
But, like, I was a kid.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault that she had me.
No, it was hers, actually.
Yeah, like, she created me. It was her decision to keep me.
Yes.
So it wasn't my fault. But the way she acted towards the end, after my parents got divorced, and the way she treated me, I could see her point of view, which sucks.
Oh.
Because I rationalize her traumatizing me and her abusing me, and I rationalize it from her point of view, and then I easily forgive her and then go back into the cycle of being like, I want my mom to be my life and I miss her and I want her to be around, but that's not healthy because the cycle happens again and then she lets me down or something bad happens. And
what is the chance? I mean, the cycle could break. If she weren't on, in the latest time. Or
but
next time
the cycle can't break unless she's willing to admit her wrongdoings. Right. And she's not.
Then yes.
She doesn't think that she did anything wrong. Like, anytime I was being physically abused, her rationalization to me was, I'm doing this because I love you.
But you can see this objectively. She can't see your side of this story?
No, she can't.
So she's, one, either selfish or immature. Maybe she did have arrested development. Maybe she stopped maturing when she had you. Because that was like the end of her youth. And so maybe she didn't grow enough to be able to see things from, other people's perspectives or, gain other views that weren't her own.
I guess. I don't know.
I'm just throwing things out there. I got no idea. I would like to know what she looks like.
Oh, she's pretty. Like, my mom's pretty. I think if she was able to recognize her faults, and try to adjust them, not even fix them, because you can't completely fix a habit, but adjust it enough so that we could have a cordial relationship, that'd be great. But in her mind, I'm still a child and I have no right to an opinion or to disagree with her. So I can't have a conversation with her about this in the first place so she could understand my side. But at the same time, in my head, I miss her. And I don't want her to be a part of Artemis's life, obviously, because she could do something to my daughter and I would never forgive myself if she did anything to my daughter.
Right.
But I want to have a relationship with her, at least to be able to talk to her when I need her. But I know that's never going to happen.
I'm sorry. It would be nice if you could be on at least like a phone call basis, like every once in a while.
Well, we texted like for a whole day.
Oh, okay.
But I already know if I continue to text her and try to have a relationship with her, once she's off her pain meds or whatever vice that she's using at the time, it's going to go bad for me. And I'm going to be hurt.
Has it been things other than pain pills before, like alcohol or?
From what I understand, it was pain medication and alcohol.
Yeah,
I don't know anything else.
They seem to go hand in hand. I've noticed. It's a dangerous combo too.
Well, I only remember what I remember. Like, I didn't know she was on pain pills until after the fact, like until I was already well into not being in a relationship with her, and I was almost an adult to realize, oh, my mom was on pain meds that whole time.
So wait a minute. Sorry, forgive me. She was how old when she had you? 18?
16 or 17.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's young.
But my dad and her were married or about to get married when they had me.
Was that legal there? Did he have her parents?
Yeah,
permission?
everything. Yeah, everything was legal.
Wow. And then you said at what age had you kind of given up on her being your mother? 13?
My 19th birthday.
Oh, okay.
Like, completely stopped communicating with her. Because I went down there to visit, and a lot happened. And then once I needed her the last time, I really needed her to help me with something, and she just didn't acknowledge me or even help me. So that was when I was like, all right, I'm not having communication with her. And then last time she spoke to me was the day before I got married to Grayson.
Oh,
and she the nastiest text. Like,
aww.
She went off on me about why I was getting married and I'm making a mistake. And I had an incident where I got pregnant with one of my exes, and I didn't know I was pregnant. I was 5 months pregnant. I had no idea. And then I found out because I started bleeding everywhere. And I was rushed to the hospital, and they said that the baby was no longer viable. And I had
viable? What's that mean? Stillborn or like miscarriage?
Like I was losing the baby while I was I was trying to get rid of the baby. Like my body was trying to get rid of the baby, so it was harming me, and the baby was already dead by the time I got to the hospital.
Jesus Christ!
And I had no idea I was pregnant at this time, and I had to go through all that without telling my mom, telling my sisters. I had a surgery. I was dating a guy at the time, and he helped me through it. And I knew this guy from high school, so he was really there for me. And she had no idea. And then when she found out, she accused me of having an abortion.
Oh, God.
And she was like, I can't believe you did that. And of course, she's Catholic Christian. And she's like,
the Bible thumper.
So
right.
She was like, I can't believe you did that. She went off on me, and she mentioned it at the day before I got married. And she wouldn't let my two sisters come to see me from my wedding when I bought them tickets, and I had a place for them to stay and everything.
Aww.
And they weren't allowed to come. So
that stinks. How old are they at the time? Ow.
I was 21, so it was only 2 years ago.
Your sisters, I mean, what are they now?
One is 18. The other one has to be 19 or 20.
Oh.
And the other one's 22.
Yeah. Irish twins, that's right, I remember. And then the two new ones. Oh, what, 1.5?
Yeah, they're like 1.5.
Oh my God, that's a nutso like order to have.
Right.
So my mom's sister, my aunt, my dad I think briefly spoke about her a couple weeks ago that they had a couple kids. There was Nicole, and then it was Christina and Peta.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Why he gave me and my brother names that ended with not A's and not R's. So,
yeah, they explained it to me.
Right. Then they had another kid, Ariana. I think they had her when Pete, who was the youngest at the time, might have been like 16 or 17. So it was like he was like just wrapping up high school as they were about to like start a new family. And it kind of worked similarly like with me and my brother. Like everybody above me and Tim is at least 49, 50. So like pretty much all our brothers and sisters were either in high school or just finishing high school when we were born.
Oh, wow.
It's just weird to be like, yeah, it's weird to be like that far apart from siblings.
That is weird.
I mean, yeah. So wait, when was the first time you took off from your mom? You were way under 18 for sure, right?
Oh, yeah. I was about to be 16.
About to be?
Yeah.
It was like right before my birthday was in September and I left in July. Yeah, it was
Damn.
July.
And did you go to a family member or like a boyfriend or a friend? Or?
No. I moved in with my dad here in Texas and my grandmother.
That's right, I knew
And
that.
the only reason that my mom let me stay was because my dad sent her money and she asked for, in exchange for me, she asked for money.
That's awful.
Yeah. And my dad, like, not knowing, like, he's not really emotionally aware of other people's feelings. So he was like, look at this. Your mother's asking for this much money just so that I can keep you. She doesn't care about you. And that's what he said to me.
I'm gonna cry.
It was horrible. And I wasn't so much, at that point, I didn't have that much emotion towards it just because my mother was always like, you can't cry in public. You can't have emotions in public. You can't let anyone know how you feel at all. So I just smiled through it. I went through it. And then September was coming around my birthday. And it was going to be the first year that my mom wasn't going to be there. My sisters weren't going to be there. And my dad decided to go to Colombia to go see my stepmom. And at this point, I didn't know who she was. I knew I had another sister. I was mad. But he bought me a puppy. He got me a puppy for my birthday and left for a whole month to go see my little sister. And like now, as an adult, I'm glad he did because she deserved him. Or not deserved him. She was little and she had the right to see her dad the same way I had the right to. So I shouldn't have been mad at the time because she didn't get to live with him and she lived in Colombia and she didn't have her papers and she couldn't visit. So him going over there, I understood. But at the time, it was like I was alone in my grandmother's house without my dad, without my mom, without my sisters. And that was like the first time. With a puppy. But that was like the first time I cried after I ran away.
I got this.
Yeah.
Can't even take care of myself. Why not add a couple other living heartbeats into the mix?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I went to school and I had sports and friends and I was able to go do stuff I wasn't able to when I lived with my mom.
That's good.
So
I
had a job.
I stopped crying. I think we need to like webcam me during these.
Oh gosh.
I know I'm such a baby.
It's okay.
I know. You're the one that went through it. Why am I crying?
That's true. No, it's just hard. It's been like hard for me last week, and I haven't been happy or depressed. It's just like this weird in between feeling. Like I don't know how to feel.
The neutral zone, the bleh.
I'm just blah right now.
The in between. Yeah, I know that feeling. Luckily I haven't been there in a while, but I actually did hit Danny the Witch up a couple of days ago. Actually, It might have been. Is today Tuesday or Wednesday? Today's Tuesday. Okay, so I think I hit her up Saturday or Sunday, and I was like, "Hey, I know Jackie's out of town, and I don't really want a tarot reading. I just need like an energy reading." And I like, again, you know, I don't believe in this shit. I think it's all hokum, or at least did a month and a half ago. Anyway, I was like, there's something definitely wrong. And I don't know what it is. It's something, just things aren't adding up. Everything's like not clicking. I'm missing flights. I'm losing shit. I'm getting robbed. I'm having like, everyone's canceling on me. I'm missing shit. There was an act, like just nonsense after nonsense. We did end up having a short talk, but I'd rather not get into the details of that quite yet. Suffice to say, everything's fine. It was just she said everyone's gonna have a pretty funky week, and so maybe this is your version of a funky week.
Wait, why is everyone in a funky mood? Like I don't understand.
It has something to do, according to her, with astrology. I don't believe in astrology still, so I'm not going to give that any weight or merit.
Okay.
But it has something to do with a planet's location in relation to our planet and a star or two.
Okay. And if anyone is listening, I would like to have someone to be able to explain this to him in math terms, so he can believe in astrology.
I can forward you the email that obviously that Danny sent me that would give you the actual details.
That'd be helpful, because right now it's hard for I'm working from my bed.
Jupiter's in supergrade and Neptune is in Saturn plus, while the moon is blue. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I hear when people talk about astrology.
Okay.
It's
I don't know. I put some idea and I believe in some of it. I still don't know enough to be like, hey, I believe in this completely. Because I think everything affects everything. So there's an outcome to everything.
I agree with that.
It will explain scientifically what is going on with me. And yes, I think astronomy has some scientific backing.
I do too.
Then I'll believe in it. If it will help me get through this, that'd be great.
Then you know what? I believe in it too. It just makes me laugh when people are like, oh, you like to go shopping? You must be a Sagittarius. I'm like, listen, people's personality traits have fucking nothing to do with what month they were born in.
That's not true. There's a lot of science that actually backs that up.
There is so much science that doesn't back it up. Does the
Yes, there
opposite
is.
that disproves it.
Well, obviously, depending on, there's always a spectrum.
There should be a
lot of-
website called Google Me Right, where you just Google what you want to prove, and it gives you the study that shows you're right. And that way you can...
That's what Google is. You can literally put in a certain question and word it the right way.
Yeah, and then you get the answer you want.
No. No, I don't like this idea. Then we're going to have a bunch of radicals walking around thinking that they're always fucking right.
And we don't already?
Oh, we do, but there's going to be more because there's a lot of stupid people out there.
What do you think I am?
Not that stupid.
Oh, that's true. Oh,
Because
that's nice. Nicest thing anyone said to me this week.
You have some things that you say that I'm like, okay, you're going to think, once you think that through, you're not going to believe in that, what you just said. But which sucks. Being the way I am, I could see everyone's point of view, and I hate it.
I would like to know the next time I say something that falls into that realm, because that is fucking hilarious.
Oh, I'll tell you. Don't worry.
Please. Because there's something else you're supposed to point out next time I do it too. It's when it has something to do with correcting or
Correcting?
correcting.
Oh, correcting.
Correcting, I think you or myself, and then like agreeing with it immediately, or I think.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's like your confidence booster. It's to prevent yourself from saying sorry way too many times. And another thing you need to fix is interrupting. You don't let anyone finish a thought process.
Why would I?
I think it's just like, you know how you always have to say something to confirm you're listening? You do that still a lot.
Yeah. It's because if I stop going, yeah, well, yeah, then people go, are you still there? You listening?
I don't do that.
I know you don't, but you have to understand my young adult life was spent in a place where that's how life works, and that's just something that it's a habit that was formed, and I'm trying my best to work myself out of it. That's one. Two is everybody else, aside from you, obviously, Jaggy, is far less interesting than me, so why let them talk, right? Right?
Oh gosh, that's a horrible thing to say.
But it's funny, and that's all that
I
matters.
don't agree with that comment.
I don't agree with it either, but it's funny, and that's all that matters. Okay, so earlier, you mentioned something about like trying to remain stoic in regards to your mother, right?
So her thought process on that was she would hurt me. She would hit me. And then she would sit with me for an hour to 2 hours talking to me on why I got hit.
Really?
Yes. And
that would hurt more.
Her reasoning was she did it because she loved me and she needed to explain to me why I was wrong or why I did something.
Words
but
do
that didn't include me having an opinion. So I couldn't explain to her why I did something. For an example, when I was first figuring out my sexuality, I was passing notes with this girl in my class, and I had a crush on her. But I didn't want to tell her this because I would have...
How old were you roughly?
I was like 15. I was 15, and she was in my psych class, and she was a very... I liked her personality, and she had I don't know, I just had a crush on her, okay? And I know she won't remember me.
You don't have to explain anything.
I don't remember her name either.
Oh, no.
I know. But she found those notes in my backpack because she looked through all my things. And she got mad at me for having a crush on a girl. I couldn't have a boyfriend because she would get jealous of the guy as well. So she was grilling me and hitting me every time I denied that I had a crush on her. And then she would sit with me for an hour explaining me why I can't have a girlfriend, or if I did have a girlfriend, or if I had a crush on a girl, why I couldn't talk to her about it. But if I had no one, I was not allowed to have a boyfriend.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to. And then right after that, she accused me of not being a virgin. So it was just like this thing. And then right after that conversation, we would have to go to softball practice or to some event. And I had to pretend that she never hit me, that I wasn't sad. And I had to put a smile on my face to make sure I looked good in front of her friends and my sister's softball team, and pretend like nothing happened.
And pretend that softball isn't the major sport of most lesbian athletes.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. We were all playing softball all the time. Leave us alone.
Back with the jokes. All right. Bring some levity to the situation.
But that was the process that I would go through.
I get it. I mean, I don't get it, but I understand what you're saying. I sympathize as well as sympathize. Although I'm not crying this time. But you desensitized me.
I'm not trying to.
To Jackie stories.
It's just, I lived it, and my whole thought process through this was someone else is going through worse. Whatever I'm going through isn't as bad compared to someone else.
I honestly have thought that pretty much anytime things are not going well, and don't get me wrong, my life's been pretty sweet. There have been some real fucking shit moments, though. And when those shit moments happen, I'm like, somebody has it twice as bad. Which means somebody else has it, like, twice as bad as that. Like, there's just, like, I'm probably having, like, a mediocre day compared to
Yeah, that's my thought process.
It's kind of sad, but it made sense and it helps. And then, you know, you learn to just start making jokes about everything. Especially when you watch dumb shit. I don't know. Dumb shit like Gilbert Gottfried reminds me that, like, there really is no such thing as a too soon. You know, he made a bunch of jokes about 9/11, like the day of 9/11.
Oh gosh.
He got fired from, like, he was the Aflac duck or goose or whatever the fuck it is. He got fired from that. He did. He had a couple other. He got fired from everything.
Did you just say he was an Aflac goose? Was he the voice?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was assuming he worked for Aflac. But...
No, he was the voice of their spokesman goose.
Okay.
Aflac, that one.
I didn't know that person needed a voice.
He was Iago in Aladdin.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, I don't think there is such thing as too soon, but you have to be careful with your audience. Make sure that you won't offend them or hurt them.
Exactly. I mean, some of my, I don't know. I don't want to say this is gonna sound fucking terrible, but whatever. I don't have any secrets here. My best friends were the first ones to make dead mom jokes to me. Like the day of or the day after. It was the only time I laughed like that whole week, you know? And I appreciate it. And there is a merit in being able to laugh at things even before they are technically supposed to be allowed to be funny. But the point I wanted to get back to about the stoicism thing was, I remember when they called me at work and they said, "Hey Matt, you got to go home. Something happened to your mom." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." I figured she had like OD or something, or I don't know, her girlfriend had like a third car accident in like a month. And I was driving home. I'm like, oh no, what could have happened? Oh well, I don't know. I was just like driving home, and it's only like a 7-mile drive. I was like 2 miles from the house, and my older brother called me and he goes, "I just realized you should definitely not be driving. We'll come get you." And I'm like a mile or two from the house. Why would you need to come get me? And I was like, oh no. And I like pieced 2 and 2 together, and I was like, motherfucker. Like I walked into the house.
You were mad at her at first?
I walked into the house, the whole family sitting around the table crying. I walked into, my dad stands up and he like starts to like bawl hard and goes to give me a hug. And I looked right at him and I go, "That selfish fucking cunt." And everyone at once stopped crying. And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "That was the most selfish fucking thing. How the fuck could you do that?" And anyway, the point of the story is being stoic can sometimes, and that was, by the way, not stoic. That was just being mean. It can really bring, I don't know, it can help the rest of the people through the situation that are not having as easy of a time emotionally. And don't get me wrong, I spent the next, I want to say, year being like a fragile piece of work. Don't get me wrong, I still cry every day, but that's my normal self. But yeah, my initial, I want to say the first month was pure anger. Not anger, because I don't really get angry. It was more like
disappointment.
It was like, how dare you? Like,
yeah.
Don't you know, like, how many lives you just fucked up? Like, that was so selfish of you.
I saw this horrible video, and I'm going to explain it the best way I can. But I almost cried at this video. It was a 2-year-old boy or 3-year-old boy in bed, and he was being woken up by his mom. And his mother had to tell him that his dad took his life. And his first reaction was, "Daddy is not going to come and give me a hug. Aww. I just want him to hold me." And he was crying and crying. And
where did you see this?
It was on TikTok.
Oh my God.
I was like scrolling through TikTok and I saw it and I was like, I looked at Artemis and I was like, I'm never going to do this to you. Because that pain that child is feeling, that person caused that. Their own father caused that pain for that baby. No matter how like bad I've been, and of course I've thought about it or I've almost attempted it, just because of how I feel inside, I just want it to stop.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever put Artemis or Grayson through that ever, because I love them way too much for my own pain.
Well, and we've spoken about this before, is like, you know, it's never crossed my mind. It could never cross my mind. Yeah. But it has, I mean, crossed your mind. But yeah, because of these things, you know, your husband, your daughter, it's not a possibility now, or not now, but ever, right?
No, ever. After, like, no.
Well, that's great.
Because that is selfish.
It
but
is.
Like, at the same time, I'm curious. So if you were in my position, like, my mother was your mother. Pretend that we switched moms. But my mom still killed herself, and you were her son. Would you regret not having a relationship with her?
Oh, okay. So,
like, put yourself in my position, but
if I were
my mom killed herself.
If I were you and you find out tomorrow that your mom killed herself, would I feel any regret?
Yeah.
0.
Why?
Because I think, again, this probably has something to do with the way I was raised, but it's, you don't put your hands on other people ever under any circumstance, no matter what.
But she convinced me that she did it because she loved me, and I believed it.
Okay,
I believed that every single time she hit me was because I was doing something wrong, and she only did it to reprimand me.
Oh, so you're saying if I forget the way I was brought up and I just... Yeah. Okay.
Pretend you're me.
I went to your Catholic school. I had your parents.
Yes.
I would definitely feel bad that I did not have a relationship because so and it's happened a few times where I've been at just a friend's house and there'll be someone there who will be like bitching about like I had to do this with my mom, or they'll like come in from like having a cigarette and like arguing on the phone with their mom, and they're like, "God, my mom's such a fucking cunt," blah 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 blah, and I'm gonna be like, I want you to go back outside right now and call your mom and just tell her you love her because there's going to be a time, and it could be 30 years from now, it could be tomorrow. You're not going to be able to do it, and you're going to regret the fuck out of it. And every single one of those people I've said that to has been like, dude, thank you so much. It really did help. So, now, I don't know if that applies to you. Because this isn't a simple argument over, who forgot to make the bed in the morning or whatever the fuck dumb argument they're having. This is serious, years of terrible abuse. I would try my best to at least things on a talking term and make sure that the last things you say to her aren't fighting words. As long as those two things are met, in my eyes, I would not feel terrible about the loss. I mean, other than the actual point of the loss.
Yeah.
I just feel like I did my best at that point. As long as the last thing you didn't say to her was "fuck you" and hang up on her, and then you know what I mean. As long as
I can't even do that. I'm too scared to do that.
Good. Well, not good, but then it will. I feel like as long as if you can text her once a year and just say like, "Hey, married, whatever," and she says, "Yeah, same to you," and then, yeah, I feel like that's not the best you can hope for, but I would call that a win at this point. And also, I wouldn't feel terrible about you not having put in any effort in, or me not having put the effort in, because you've tried.
Yeah.
Has she?
No.
See, that's
I don't think she ever will. I had this conversation with Grayson too right after. Was like, "Hey, I'm texting my mom. Don't tell my dad." Because they work together, so they're with each other every single day. And I was like, "Hey, you can't tell my dad because I already know what my dad would tell me. Jacqueline, don't be stupid. You're gonna fall for her tricks again, and you're gonna end up hurt. You're gonna be on her side for a couple months, and then she's gonna leave you, and then you're gonna be crying, and you're gonna come back to me." And that's what my dad says every single time, and it's true because I could see her side. I could see where she's coming from. I forgive her so easily.
Well,
but I don't think that's fair. And then Grayson was like, "Don't talk to her. It's only gonna go bad. From everything I hear from you and your dad and people around her, it's gonna go bad."
Has it been easier to see her side of things since you become a mother?
I hate that. She asked me the same thing. Not she didn't ask me directly, but she asked me, "How does it feel like to be a mom?" And no, it hasn't changed. I always understood her side since I was a kid because I can understand where she's coming from as well as my own opinion.
Right.
But me becoming a mom made it worse. And I say
that's
worse
what I
as
figured.
in I know how much I love my daughter, and I know how much I want to protect her, and I know how to protect her without using force, manipulation, or talking to her for hours. There are other ways. And if I don't know what those ways are, I will research it. I will ask someone else. I will ask for advice. I'm willing to accept that I'm not the smartest and all-knowing. But
that's true. You know what's
funny?
I will
make sure that she's safe.
It's to hear you, who is an outspoken, what do you call it, manipulator? Be able to admit and I'm going to do it without manipulation, and you're that is one of your tactics, and you're already looking out for it. That's good. No, that's a good sign.
I only use manipulation so I can get money or go farther in life.
Talk strangers into podcasts.
Oh yeah, definitely. Not to hurt the people I care about or love.
Interest. Man, You know what? Let me tell you this real quick. I got a real good story. I'm sorry to jump ship because we're in the middle of something like deep and meaningful, but I'm gonna forget this if I don't say it now. I texted Angie this morning, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
To say, hey, I'm putting our episode with you out tomorrow. Is there any last requests, anything you want me to keep private? Don't say what it is. Is there anything you want me to like leave out of like announcements, titles, like just cut straight out of the episode, anything? And the the dude wrote me back. He goes, dude, for the third fucking time, this isn't Angie's phone anymore. It hasn't been for 4 fucking years. And I was like, oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry, dude. And he goes, but wait a minute, what recording? And I was like, oh, you don't care. So whatever. And I gave him the link. And he he wrote me back like 3 hours later. He goes, this is the most insane fucking story I've ever heard in my life. How the fuck did you two? Are you two really? Is this an act? I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
no. He's like, dude. He's like, dude, you got a new listener. I'm like, wow.
That's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
It's beautiful. It made my fucking day, and I can't believe it took me this long to remember to tell you.
No, I think that's awesome. I think
Some dude,
that made my day too.
some dude who's like, fuck you. By the way, what are you? What show?
I'm curious now.
I can't believe that he looked. Yeah, he's like, seriously, there are no like odds. There are no odds for this. I'm like, I know. I don't quite get it either. Especially, math guy, logic guy. No religion. No astrology. Not astrology. Astronomy.
So speaking of astrology, how long is this retrograde gonna last? Because I'm tired of feeling like this. Do you know?
Let me grab that email.
Okay, read it to us so that we all understand. In case anyone else is feeling this way after the 4th of July.
Okay.
Okay, the only thing I found so far was
Mercury?
Yeah, the Mercury retrograde, summer 2020, kicks off June 18th to sprinkle a little additional chaos over your summer season.
Yeah.
It's severing up 3 full weeks of mixed signals, communication mishaps,
Yep.
timing troubles, and more through July 2nd. Or 12th. I'm sorry, July 12th.
That's the one I got.
It's retrograde season 2, so Mercury isn't the only planet taking a temporary backwards jaunt. I don't even know what that word means.
How do you spell it?
Jaunt.
Oh yeah, jaunt, like a jaunty dance.
That doesn't help me understand what that word means.
Oh, it's like festive.
Okay. It'll join Venus, Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, all of which are also retrograde
Didn't I say
at the
that?
time of Mercury backspin begins. The summer is bound to be a doozy. So you should at least make yourself aware of how Mercury retrograde summer 2020 will affect the zodiac sign. So if that explains to anyone, we're all fucked.
That explains exactly what I was trying to say. However,
So hopefully by July 12th, I will feel better.
I think you're on the way out of yours, unless you got one little like last 100-meter dash to go, which I pray you don't.
Nothing has gone wrong. We went to Oklahoma, I told you, this weekend to go visit Grayson's grandmother, because right after my grandfather died, I was like, hey, we need to go make sure that Artemis gets to meet her grandmother at least. And we went over there. It was a very boring trip. I got to meet her. She's the sweetest lady ever. Artemis enjoyed herself. We stayed there for like a couple hours, drove back, and the drive back was horrible because she was screaming. Babies don't like being in a car. You're like telling a child. You're not even telling them because they don't understand shit. You're putting a child in a car seat to sit there for 5 hours. They're trapped. They can't move. They can't play. And you're expecting them to be okay. Like, that's not fair. That's not nice. I felt so bad. Like, I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry with her because I'm like, I'm so sorry I'm doing this to you, but we need to get home.
You know what's funny is on the other end of the spectrum, people put their kids in car seats and drive them around the block to put them to sleep.
She doesn't like being in the car seat. It has to be moving consistently. If it stops at all, she gets grumpy. But if she's in there too long, she gets grumpy. She's a kid. She wants to play. She wants to run. And she was tired. Like, I felt so bad. I'm never doing that early. Next time, I'll just drive in the middle of the night.
For claiming you have no empathy, you have an endless supply of empathy for Artemis's feelings.
Oh my God, yes. I can't help it. I don't know what it is. Like,
nobody
I can feel
else
everything she has.
It's called mother's intuition, man. It's like you're gonna feel her pain for your whole life, probably.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah,
Because I could look at someone else and they could be crying right next to me and be like, "Oh, they're there. I'm sorry."
You tap them on the back and hand them like a napkin. You're like, there you go.
I could say everything to make them feel better, but not really feel like I really don't care whether they feel better.
Oh, I don't have the right words usually, but I do give pretty fucking amazing hugs. That usually fixes people. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I mean like realistically. I'm like a big fucking teddy bear. You know,
I just lay on Grayson until I feel better. I just plop on him.
Like that. You know? Sometimes it's, I don't know, just emotional warmth can help more than words can sometimes, I think. In my own professional experience. Based on my very limited professional experience.
Oh yeah, you're so professional.
Yeah. Well, hey, I do a lot of things professionally. I eat, I drink, I get robbed apparently. Oh man. You got to see this new security. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send you access to the new security system I have in my house.
No, because, so the other day, no, I forgot to mention this. He disappeared for a whole day. The day we were supposed to be recording, he disappeared. Didn't answer his phone. His phone was off.
Who?
You. I'm talking about you. Your phone was off. You told me the last thing you said was, "I'm going to Costco with my friend. I will be back in a couple hours and I will call you."
Yeah.
I, being his best friend, rightfully, I took that place.
Uh-huh. No,
I couldn't find him. He didn't answer his phone. So what I did, and this is going to be probably illegal, I went into his email. I found his phone, see if I could ping his location that way, which I couldn't because his phone was off. I found his dad's number through John.
How the fuck did you get into my email?
I went through your email. Then I had to ask John for your dad's number. I call his dad.
See, I don't mind that at all. Yeah.
His dad answers, talks to me for 20, 30 minutes about...
Sounds like my dad.
About nothing, really.
Sounds about right.
And then never told him that I called. Never told you.
That's right. I got home and I was like, what happened? He's like, nothing. I'm like, cool. And then I talked to you the next day. You're like, where the fuck were you? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Matt doesn't usually miss appointments. Like, we're both really good at either communicating whether we can or can't be to a recording, or if something goes wrong, we're communicating the whole time. He did not call me for 6-7 hours. And then I went to bed. And then he calls me the next day. I was like, yeah, I passed out.
I feel like that's the longest I've gone. Like, I remember the second day we had met, where I made some sort of joke about, like, if you ever go, like, missing for 48 hours without a text or a call, I have the right to call the police and file a missing persons report, like, as a joke. I feel like that 6-7 hours was probably the longest I had gone, like, off the grid.
It was completely off grid. Like, his phone wasn't even pinging a location.
That is, it was off. So, first of all, I'm going to give you the other phone I have, the one that I keep all the socials on. It doesn't have a number, though, but it's got, it's usually on Wi-Fi somewhere. 2, I just rigged the house up with a whole bunch of security cameras in case I really do think it was the upstairs neighbors.
Really?
Oh, yeah. But if anyone tries to rob us, so right now there's one, but I'm setting up the other 2 later today. They are, they're not like fancy or anything, but each one of them, you can, like, it's just like live, color, 1080p, like just view, but you can speak through the camera at the person walking. So, like, I've been sitting in my room, and every time Dad walks by to go have a cigarette, I'm like, hey, No smoking. Like, I can talk through all the cameras in this house now at people. So now when I'm like at
You know
the
what that
store
also means?
and I see someone like sitting at the kitchen table, I'm like, get the fuck out of my kitchen. What?
You know what that also means?
No.
Someone can hack into the security system and watch you all day.
Oh, that's okay because I only have it pointed at the 2 doors. That's intentionally that way. Otherwise,
Okay.
yeah, I don't want people, especially like anywhere near my room. That would be just too weird. Like people knowing like my specific like comings and goings, like what time I like, you know, get up and go outside or what time I head to the store. That would just be weird.
I don't leave the house really.
I
now,
don't anymore, but
just because, COVID is one of them where like there's a lot of people out there not staying safe, and I can't get
nobody is being good
Yeah.
about this COVID thing.
Like my daughter does go to school though, so she is in a Montessori, but they take a lot of precautions, and there's only 6 kids there.
Is that one of those exclusive, expensive preschools?
Yeah, pretty much. But all the other parents that also take their kids in Montessori, they're all working in the IT industry because I live in Plano and almost everyone here is in IT.
Yeah,
So-
that's why my sister's there.
They're all staying at home. Everyone's being safe,
Yep.
but that's the only reason I leave my house right now. I go to grocery shopping once a week.
Oh, I know you do go to at least the Asian market, but you don't have most of your food delivered at this point?
No, because I need to be sane. If I don't leave my
get out.
house,
Yeah.
I get depressed.
I
And
feel you.
I have a lot of hobbies. Like I'm sewing right now. I have paint. I have my iPad where I can draw. I have clothes that I can fix or alter or make. Like I'm not bored, but
So wait a minute. Sewing's okay, but magic and Rubik's Cubes are nerdy?
okay, no, magic is dirty. Magic is only for the people who can't get women.
That's me.
You don't want women.
That's
There's
true.
a difference.
That's very
You
true.
want women. Or
Very- Or
it's usually like they got inspired by a TV show.
that's what happened.
Okay.
Fool us, Penn and Teller.
But
It was I'm gonna do it another time. It's not important. Nobody cares. Ah. So.
do you talk to yourself like that?
all
often?
the time?
That's not good.
You do it too. You were asking. You thought you were. It's like you know because of it.
No, but you're very negative on yourself, like
Wait,
all the
what do you-
time.
How so?
So there are things like how you speak about yourself or how you talk to yourself, like putting yourself down is how
Oh.
you think of yourself. So
That
you
is-
do that a
that-
lot.
That is for the show. I don't do that to myself.
Yes, you
alone.
no, you do.
I promise you, I don't.
Then stop doing it with me because then I think that you don't like yourself.
Okay, I will. I promise you, I will. I'm sorry. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like self-degradation is like the cornerstone of good comedy. Does that make sense?
No.
You don't think the funniest comedians are the ones who just shit all over themselves constantly?
No, I think a funny comedian is someone that can take daily instances and turn it into comedy.
Oh, observational.
Yeah, I prefer that type of comedian because you can only shit on yourself so much and people say the same things to themselves. It becomes not funny.
I only have one thing to like shit on myself about, and so it wouldn't be funny. I'd run out of stuff to say eventually.
Yeah, so I like my favorite comedian, what's his name?
I can tell you, just tell me any one bit he does, and I can tell you I'm like an idiot.
His bit is about his daughter, about the period party.
Oh, it's Bert Kreischer.
Yes, I love him.
He's one of my favorites.
He's fucking hilarious.
I know
Like,
him. Dude,
I've watched all the podcasts he's been on. I've
Me
watched
too.
his show.
wait, do you
like-
watch him in Two Bears, One Cave with him and Tom
Yes.
Segura?
Yes.
That is one of the best shows out there.
He's hilarious. Like
Did
the
you
way
see
he
his
talks
dance?
about his life in a comedic way, because that's how he sees it, is hilarious. And
There's a lot of self-degradation in there, but you're right. His is more, yeah. Have you
his
ever-
is more what other people say about him. It's not him saying stuff about himself.
Yes. Have you heard him talk about how he's convinced his daughter can time travel?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Oh my god!
I was just listening to that one actually.
This was like years ago. He was promoting like a show at like the Phoenix like stand up or the Phoenix Improv or something, and he was on like our morning radio. It's called the Morning Sickness or whatever. And he was telling the story before it was like a routine. He was like, it was just like a fresh story from the weekend. It was like, I don't know. I was really high in my room, and my daughter walked in and was like, "Dad, do you believe in time travel?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I've always wanted to talk to her about this, but I'm too high right now. What do I do?" And he's like, so I'm in her room the next day, and on her desk is this like old manila envelope. Like, I'm talking like 1940s old manila envelope. And I open it, and it's filled with like 20 Quaaludes from like the 1960s. And I'm like, how the fuck did my daughter get a 1940s manila envelope filled with like 1960s Quaaludes?
That's 7. Crazy. That's crazy.
That doesn't make it all the way to his bit though. But like when he was just telling the story, I was in there and I was like, holy shit, maybe his daughter can time travel.
I recommend this guy to anyone that wants to laugh really hard at night. I also recommend getting high before watching his show because that makes it 10 times funnier. Because he's already funny. He's shirtless, so listen if the shirtlessness is going to bother you. Oh, yeah, he does do that.
The machine.
That's part of his bit. Don't tell any more jokes from him so that other people can go and watch him.
I don't know. Secret time.
But I highly recommend his show.
I think, personally, I prefer Tom Segura, but I've liked him for a lot longer than I can remember. There used to be this radio station in Phoenix that would play. It was similar to a radio station, oddly enough, considering it was on the radio and a radio station. They would play like 1 to like 4 minutes, just stand-up comedy bits, right? So it would just like play bit, and then a lady would say what the comedian's name was, and then it would just play another bit. The lady would say the comedian's name, just bit name, nonstop, no commercials, nothing, just all day. And it got to the point where, like, I think within like 3 months of having this like channel, I think within 4 words I could say the name of the comedian every time. It's just like it became like a real bad obsession.
That is pretty bad.
Yeah, I delve into hobbies pretty hard. You might say I have an addictive personality, not based on any of my past experiences, like high school life, whatever. Anyway, did you get the picture of the? I sent you a picture of a deck of cards, of the Fae, not tarot cards, playing cards.
I think he sent me an email, right?
Yes.
I haven't opened the email yet.
Okay.
I'll open it after the call.
Oh, I don't care if you open it now. I was just wondering if you saw it.
Yeah, I'll look at it after after this recording.
Oh, you can look at it in a couple weeks. It doesn't really matter. Oh, so my dad and I went on a board game run last night? Yeah, it must have been last night.
Yeah, it was last night.
And we bought an NFL board game. So we've been playing NFL.
I don't even think you like football.
I'm all right. Here's what I love football season, and I love football games. I don't follow it. I don't know enough about it to remember information. I'm also a degenerate gambler, so I love gambling. But really what I like is everyone's in a better mood for like 6 months of the year when football starts. And that's what I like is getting to see all my friends every Sunday, and just people are cutting each other off less on the freeway. People are using their turn signals. People are waving. It also could have something to do with Christmas and the holiday season anyway, too. But it just seems like everyone's in a better mood. It's cooling down also. Everyone's done being hot for the year. It's just like a whole good time of the year. It all just kind of adds up. And we're almost there. We got, 2 months to go? I mean, obviously there won't be football this year because of COVID, but I mean, until life cools down and we could get back to, I guess, not trying to kill each other in the middle of traffic up. I wonder. I haven't really been paying attention to the numbers. How many
It's
people
getting bad.
have lost their jobs?
It's pretty high.
It's like 20.
People are still losing their jobs, even though we're in the middle of this crisis or whatever. And sometimes it's like performance based. But
really?
yeah, we had for the company I'm currently working for now. We just had 2 or 3 fires, and we hired a lot of new people, but they got fired due to performance. And we're a performance based company, so luckily, I'm not on the chopping block. I don't think I ever will be because I'm good at this, and I'm usually the top performer. But yeah, people are getting fired. A lot is going on, and anyone that's going through that, like, I'm sorry. I actually do feel bad about that.
Forgot to say hashtag humble brag.
Oh, was it? Sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
No, I'm just talking with you. You're good.
I just think for the type of job that I do,
Yeah.
I think that if you work hard enough and you get good and you are successful, you shouldn't be sorry about being successful. Because I work my butt off. I work when I'm not supposed to be working. I work after hours. Not like straight, but I'm always on LinkedIn connecting with people. I'm always calling other people. I'm making new connections. Like, that's part of my job. And if you're not willing to put in that grind to make extra money or more money, that's not my fault. Like, you deserve to not have a job.
Well, that's the thing. If you're not willing to put in the free, especially free extra time on weekends and weeknights, you're not gonna make it
Be successful. Yeah. Eventually, you don't have to. Like, eventually, you built up enough momentum for it to work on its own. But in the beginning, yeah, you have to work your ass off.
Well,
until you only work an hour a day.
Exactly. That's why we're. That's why we're doing a lot of extra stuff on top of this. I feel like I got screwed out of my last job, unfortunately. But I'm glad it happened because this wouldn't have happened otherwise. And I was getting fucked, and I was threatening to quit that place for the last 3 years anyway. It was just like they hired me as a junior developer and put me in like a senior architect's job, and then were upset that like I wasn't able to like run a whole project management system with like a whole team like on my first try.
Well, some people aren't meant for that. Like, some people just don't have the skills, and that's fine.
No, it's not that I don't have the skills. It's like I barely learned how to code. Let me code a project first before you had me directing the coder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote a quote down that I wanted. I feel like every time I have like an inspirational quote, I want to talk to you about for some reason. I don't know why. I think because I'm I don't know. I'm finding more meaning in words than I used to. Like a year ago, I was only listening up until, from like 12 till last year, 32. I only listen pretty much to instrumental music. And lately I've been listening to a lot of stuff with words. I think I've been reading more into like the meaning behind vocals and words. And I think that's what's drawing this whole thing, where I keep like finding these quotes that just seem to like resonate with me about like what's going on or what's happening or any of that nonsense. Oh, by the way, check this out. So I know some of my family listens to this. I think you'll find this kind of funny though, and whoever's listening to this is not probably part of the family I think I'm worried about anyway. So I was talking to my sister, and she was like, so you find out like where all that stuff that got rubbed from your house went? And I was like, no. She goes, who do you think took it? And I was like, I don't want to tell you. And she was like, why? And I was like, because you're going to get mad at me and you're going to yell at me. And she was like, no, just who do you think it was? I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to yell. You're going to get mad. You're going to yell some more. And then you're probably going to tell that person, who's then going to write me an angry letter or text and yell some more. And she's like, who do you think it was? I'm like, I think it was my cousin Nicole. And she's like, how the fuck could you dare to think it was our cousin Nicole? I'm like, exactly why. Why I can't tell people things. Oh.
People are too emotional.
Oh. I don't think it was. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't have to defend myself. I don't think it was her. I do think it was her. I think she has some sort of disease where she picks things up and puts them in her purse and has no idea she's doing it. I know, I've seen her do it. I watch her do it constantly. She just she walks through a house and ends up with half of it in her purse. And she has no idea. Like, she's just that clueless.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like some level of high-grade kleptomania. But I think that she probably was just, like, passing by, wanted to, like, see if there was a cigarette sitting on her patio, and saw a backpack and was like, oh, must be my backpack. So I don't think it was malicious. But anyway, I just thought it was funny that it was like, just tell me, I won't yell. Tell me, I won't yell. And then
yells.
Of course, well, it would have been any fun if they didn't. Well, just kidding. Thank you everyone for listening again. It's been a real pleasure. It's nice to fucking finally have you back, Jackie.
Yeah,
I swear to God.
It's nice to talk again.
I know, it's so weird just texting. It's like there's no, I don't know, personalization or whatever. But I think we got some cool stuff coming up. As we're recording this, a really cool episode is coming up. We talk about the egg with Angie. That will be great. I hope you guys get to hear that one. If not, go back and listen to it. Other than that, please find us anywhere at Magic for Humans with a Z at the end instead of an S. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We don't have a channel yet, but if you go to our website, magicforhumans.com, it's in there, along with links to every other radio and pod site that hosts our audio feeds. So,
and please download.
Apple, Google.
Exactly. Download and rate us on Apple and like us on any form of social media. And you can call us as well.
Please call
DM us, ask us questions, anything. Open conversation.
469-269-6971. If the phone is off, leave a voicemail question and we will answer it on air, or not if you would prefer we not.
Actually, no. Leave a voicemail because then I won't be able to hear it either.
Oh, that's fair. All right. Just leave a voicemail then and we'll get to it. And other than that, I would just say just hit the website for everything, because everything, I've boiled this thing down now to the bare essentials. Everything's on like page 1, 2, or 3. That includes all the socials, all the YouTubes, like everything you can do to help us out, including like donating to PayPal and Venmo. It's also got the artists that we are supporting, not all of them, but just a couple featured ones like every week, and just all sorts of cool stuff like that. I'd also like to thank Jared, our producer, for being just a baller, and his wife Danny for being an awesome witch. And everyone, good luck until Mercury gets out of retrograde.
Please keep it together, guys, because I'm not.
Stay safe and don't do anything I wouldn't do. And
That's
good luck.
not much.
Yeah, it's not much. Good luck. All right. Closing.
What are the odds of making a call? Running to talk to mouth, but you end up talking to Matt. Hey, what are the odds of making a call? Running to talk to mouth, but you end up talking to Matt. Hey, what are the odds? Hey, what are the odds? Hey, what are the odds? Hey.